All right, let's do it. Dear George and Luke, I've been married 30 years
Oh God, can't solve that one.
and thought I could trust my husband 100%. That was the main thing I was looking for in a husband. Someone I could trust who wasn't a womanizer. Recently, I found out he's dated a girl when they were 14
What?
and she became pregnant. He dated a girl when they were 14
Oh,
and she became pregnant, right? The
no,
child,
that's different.
yeah, that's very different. The child who was adopted 35 years ago, wow, got in touch with her mother, his ex, then tracked down my husband and told him she'd found their daughter and asked if he'd like to meet her. Okay. After that, his ex would ring up drunk, and then I found emails from her asking him to meet her for old time's sake and that I wouldn't find out. She also called me paranoid, even though it was apparent they were talking on the phone and email all the
For
time.
old time's sake, that is surprising. I mean,
That was a long time ago. This has destroyed me. Even though my husband insists he didn't meet her and would never have met up with her, he says he's very sorry and that he loves only me. Our friends have now been in touch with this woman to say she must contact them from now on, that's good friends, regarding information about her daughter, as that's what my husband wants. However, I'm finding it still very difficult to get over this. Can you help, George and Luke?
but he hasn't. There's no evidence that he's actually cheated
There's
on her.
no evidence he's cheated on her. Obviously, they've had a few messages, and he reckons she's seen stuff that said, for old time's sake, asking him to meet her for old time's sake. And that
So
I wouldn't find out.
I don't think this is such a problem. I mean,
Well, it sounds
basically,
like he was kind of.
there's one
But he
significant
hasn't done
change.
anything. He hasn't physically done anything.
Yeah, the significant change is this: is he going to meet his daughter? His daughter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or not? If he meets the daughter, which I think he should, because if the daughter's gone looking, then it's an emptiness
It's his
in
daughter
that
at the end of
person's
the day. It's
life,
his daughter.
and she wants to meet him. But it'd be exciting, wouldn't it? Good, interesting. Why not? You only live once. You might as well have some stories still. So if she comes and meets him and they get along in some capacity, then she'll probably come and meet you too, and that might be, quite nice. It doesn't mean that there needs to be any. It doesn't mean that like she wants to meet mum and dad at the same time, her real mum, and there's no obligation that can happen. Now you need to look at it and say, number one, this guy's been married to me for 30 years. That's a lot, and it says a lot, and he's still there, he's still by your side, and you've implied that it's actually been really good until now, which is amazing. I mean, you've hit the jackpot. Most people didn't even live to 30 in our ancient history. 30 years of marriage sounds to me like a fucking fairy tale. That's unbelievable. It's about time you had a bit of a, repercussion. But anyway, the other thing to look at is this guy got a girl pregnant at 14, which would imply he was probably either just one of those sort of lucky young kids who got off with the neighbour because they liked each other, or he was one of those young guys who the girls really liked, meaning he actually was good with ladies really early on, and was actually, and I'm assuming he was 14 as well, by the way, because
He was.
if someone, okay,
He was.
so he was good with women, and despite being very good with women, he picked you, and he's dedicated 30 years of his life to you. So you got a real prize. Now the only thing is this: you need to look at it like he had a relationship. He had a girlfriend when he was 14. That's it. He had a girlfriend when he was 14. The fact that they had a child was unplanned, unprepared. There are plenty of 14-year-olds who are boyfriend and girlfriend. Not all of them sleep together, but some do. And in many countries around the world, I think they've changed the law, but I think in Spain, for right up until only a few years ago, it was the age of consent was similar. It was around that age. So again, doesn't mean that they were all doing it, but it was it wasn't as shocking. And you just need to look at it and go, he just had a girlfriend when he was 14. And now it's and unexpectedly, his girlfriend got pregnant with his child, which both of them evidently decided they were too young for, so blah, blah, blah. But you don't need to be jealous of it because you're being jealous of a past relationship. And if you've had any past relationships, I assume you have. If you haven't, fair enough. But if you have, then how would you feel if he started holding a grudge on a relationship that you had 35 years ago with some boy at school, right? It's irrelevant. So I would say forget that. If his ex is trying to get in touch with him for old time's sake, give him a bit of trust here, okay? He's probably like, she ain't the same person she was, okay? I bloody hope not. She didn't look like a 14-year-old. But if 30 years on, like, people change, and he may well not be remotely attracted to her. And I don't think any man who's been married to you for 30 years and it seems very happy, there's no reason that he would turn around. They broke up for a reason, right? That relationship came to an end. So focus on this. You're probably going to meet his daughter, and that might be very exciting, and it might actually enrich both of your lives, and the result of this, it might be fantastic. It's going to have some problems, it's going to have some hiccups, but it might be really, really nice. And if you're really concerned about his ex, if there's any chance of him meeting his ex, you go with him. And you have a right to say that. You could be like, listen, I'd like to come with you. Because the fact is your daughter is becoming a part of our lives, right? If she's going to visit you, she's coming here. I'm half of your life, just about. So she's a part of our lives. So if you go with your daughter to meet the mum, which is a little odd now, then I want to come as well. And I think it might make you feel a bit better about it, but you don't have to, and he doesn't have to see her either. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I'd just focus on the future and meet the daughter, and that's that.
Listen, I would just say, obviously, it is hurtful if you've seen messages which you feel,
But they're all from her. They're not from him.
Well, you say that, George, but I'm not sure if that's the case.
But she hasn't said that.
Or did she?
She said this woman said, meet me for old time's sake. And he said to his wife, I'm not interested.
Well, let me get clarification on that, because from what I hear, you might not be quite correct there, George. It says here. But what you have to remember is that, right, okay, sorry, I'm reading the wrong bit. So, the child, right, after that, his ex would ring up drunk, and then I found emails from her asking him
that's even worse.
to meet her,
ring up drunk,
for old time's sake, and that I wouldn't find out. You're right. Right.
He didn't say anything.
He hasn't said shit. So what George says.
So he's
is
got
correct.
some drunken ex.
Yeah, mate. Listen,
right?
He's a good guy, mate. I think he's all right. I think he's all right guy. I think he's just trying to keep the peace. What's the point of him telling? Oh yeah, she's sending me. Listen, he's trying to keep the peace. He's trying to keep things down. He's shocked. He's he's just found out he's got a fucking daughter.
Well, he knew. But he's found out she's come looking for him.
That's a big deal, right? And that should be the focus. That should be the focus. The daughter, like George said, if he wants to meet her, you got the ex woman, you go along. But at the end of the day, she's not important. The kid's important. The daughter's important. That's what's crucial here. And I think you guys have every chance to continue to have a good, beautiful, meaningful relationship. This was not going to tear you guys apart. No way. You guys are stronger than that. You guys have been together for years. There's love between you. I can feel it. It's coming through the airwaves right now. And if there's not enough of it, I'm sending you some. I always am. I'm vibrating with love right now. Can you feel it? Can you feel it, honey? Feel that love. I'm vibrating with such a level of love that the airwaves are going to be turned a thick colour of blue and red and purple, because that's the colour of my love. And can you see it right now? It's shining right through me, simmering through my veins, right? And that's a beautiful thing. That's a thing to be cherished. That's a thing to take into your heart and to see and witness and to feel and to connect to, because that's what we do here, George. We send love through the airwaves, don't we? Tell them.
The world is a richer and more vibrant place simply because of the way you and your husband feel about each other. The fact is that the sun shone just that little bit brighter today and yesterday and for the past 30 years. It shone that bit brighter on all of us ever since you and your husband met. Believe it or not, the universe itself is expanding at a much calmer rate simply because of the two of you. And forget about that. The reality is people like love stories. We like love stories for a reason, because they're pretty bloody hard to come by and create and manifest in real life. But you two are living in essentially a fairy tale. And the very fact that you've managed to make it last for 30 years is something that we can look at as a beacon and say, there, it existed. It's real. If they can have it, we can have it too. And that doesn't mean that we can take it from you two. It just means that we can find it for ourselves.
Yes.
So you two, in terms of the public eye, are basically king and queen. We are like, that is the king and queen that we all are aspiring to be. And the fact that two people can care about each other and look after each other for 3 decades and it be as good as it seems to have been, so completely unblemished until now, makes this planet Earth an even better place. So enjoy the fact that you had it for that long, and who knows what the future brings. Through thick and thin, through rich and poor, through sickness and health, you two, you'll pull it off.
Problem is solved.
Hey, you there, I've got some really exciting special news. If you're interested in all the kind of things that we talked about in that video just there, you're gonna love this. There it is, look at that. It's written by me. It's called A Cure for Loneliness, as you can see right there. And I spent about a year of my life writing it to make sure that it would be good and fun and accurate and entertaining and all those things that make something, you know, worthwhile. And I'm extremely excited to say that people have actually responded really well, and they've been reading it all over the world. I've gotten reviews from people who say that they've read it twice. Somebody actually wrote to me recently to say that he'd read it 3 times. I was flattered if anyone had read it once, but to read it 3 times. Some excerpts of things that people have written to me about it are, it's a great and fun read, not the tedious intellectual kind. For me personally, this was a reminder that reading can be an awesome pastime. A lot of books are boring as fuck, but not this one. Thanks very much. And anyway, those are only the first responses that I got. Quite recently, somebody wrote to me from China and said that he's now in a relationship with a girl he met on a train, all he says, because he read this book, and he said that it inspired him to go over to a girl that he liked on a train, yes, a public train, and start speaking to her. And now he says they are in a relationship and it is going well. So if that kind of thing interests you, or maybe you're just interested in the kind of psychology that, you know, we talk about on these videos, you're going to get a lot of it in depth, including my own experiences and how I kind of came to learn all of this stuff and reach this place myself. You're going to get all those stories within this. It's fantastic. Trust me, it's the best book you're ever going to read in your entire life. I wouldn't put a year of my life into writing something worthless, would I? So, you know, jump in, have fun. You can find it on amazon.com.co.uk, any Amazon, even the Amazon jungle. It's only about $10, I think it's $8.99, something like that, with free shipping. So crack on, have some fun, and, you know, let me know what you think. Till next time, bye.